evening, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you all for tuning in. Got another album ranking for everyone tonight. This time we're going to do one of my favorite bands of all time. That is Twisted Sister. So I just posted one of Dee Snider's solo albums not too long ago. So I wanted to kind of revamp my Twisted Sister list. I did this a long time ago at the beginning of my channel, so I just wanted to kind of update it. And so here we go. Only 5 studio albums to talk about because I'm not going to include A Twisted Christmas or Still Hungry. So we only have the 5 main studio albums from the 80s that we're going to go over. And coming in at the bottom of the pack here, we have 1985's Come Out and Play. Not a bad album, but definitely my least favorite from Twisted Sister. My biggest problem with this album throughout is that it just sounds like it's trying to appeal to 5th graders. Or sounds like it was written by 5th graders, one or the other. But a song like You Want What We Got just seems really silly. Be Cruel to Your Skull, that's another one to me that just comes across way too silly, way too cartoonish. I think Twisted Sister doubled down on all the wrong things, following the success of Stay Hungry and their massive hits of We're Not Gonna Take It and I Wanna Rock, which had those really funny tongue-in-cheek videos to go along with it. I think Twisted Sister kind of tried doubling down on the goofy humor and the kind of outrageous image. I think that was the wrong move in hindsight for them to make. And I think that's really the weaker part of the album here, stuff like that. You got Leader of the Pack, which is, I think it's an okay cover. I don't think it has any business being the lead single or being so high up on the album. If anything, maybe it should have been buried on the B-side somewhere to fill out the album, but definitely not a lead single. That being said, this album's not a complete lost cause. Come Out and Play is a pretty heavy, fast-paced, banging track. Fire Still Burns, probably the best song on the album. Kicks a lot of ass. I've always quite liked Out in the Streets. I think it has a really catchy pre-chorus. Looking Out for Number One's pretty good. Killer Be Killed, that's a pretty good song as well. And the bonus track here on my Spitfire release is King of the Fools. I love that song. I think that's a great ballad from Twisted Sister. Really, really cool song. So definitely not a lost cause, but definitely my least favorite album in the Twisted Sister catalog. This one may surprise some fans, but number 4, and I just want to preface this by saying that 4 through 1 are very close. I love all 4 of these albums, so even though I have this one probably low for most people, I still love You Can't Stop Rock and Roll. I think this album's fantastic, and I'll explain why this one falls to 4th place for me in a minute, but the first half of this album is pretty much as perfect as a Twisted Sister album can get. I mean, the kids are back, great opener, Like a Knife in the Back. I love that riff. I love the bass playing that song. Mark Mendoza and AJ Pero to me are the unsung heroes of Twisted Sister. They really drive a lot of these songs, and of course Dee Snider, but Mark and AJ just never get the love that they deserve. Ride to Live, Live to Ride, really killer track. I Am on Me, nice melodic anthem. I love the way Dee sings that song as well. Power in the Glory, great first half of the album. Great way to kick us off. The B-side, I think the B-side is bookended with some really great stuff. We're Gonna Make It, really good song, and of course the album closer, the title track, You Can't Stop Rock and Roll, one of the best songs the band's ever done. It's the middle of the B-side that kind of drags this one down for me, because I think there's just this little lull there for me. Probably my 3 least favorite songs, all right there. I've Had Enough. I'm honestly not a big fan of that one. I've always found that one to be a bit of a boring track. I'll Take You Alive is pretty good, just not really one of my favorites on the album. And then the ballad You're Not Alone, Suzette song, again, it's not really one of my favorites. It's alright, but not one I generally go to, I guess, outside of the context of the album. So that little lull on the B-side, I think, is what dragged this one down to the number 4 spot. But I still love this album. I think it's a superb record. We've got 3 bonus tracks here on my Spitfire edition. That's One Man Woman, 4 Barrel Heart of Love, and Feel the Power. One Man Woman is okay. 4 Barrel Heart of Love is pretty cool, and Feel the Power really rocks. So Some pretty good tracks there. So 4th place for me, You Can't Stop Rock and Roll. Here's another surprise. Coming in 3rd, I have Love Is for Suckers, released in 1987, the band's 5th and final studio album. Yeah, I have this one in 3rd place. I think this is a really underrated album, despite being the band's poppiest effort, or the band's most hair metal or hair band effort, whatever you want to term that as, most commercial effort. This is still a pretty good album in my opinion, and even though it's not really a cohesive Twisted Sister album because AJ Paro's not on here, you have a drum machine that, compared to AJ Paro's drumming, sounds really obvious and quite frankly not that great. Mark Mendoza, of course, is a beast, but there's really not much JJ French or Eddie Ojeda on this album. I don't know exactly what all they play on here, but I know they don't play everything, and quite frankly, I don't think they play a lot. There is some other good guitar work on here. Of course, Reb Beach from Winger fame is on this album. I think Hot Love is a song that he plays on, maybe among others. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that in Hot Love that's his guitar work. But there's just some good songs on here. Wake Up the Sleeping Giant to me is quintessential Twisted Sister. Hot Love I think is a really good poppy commercial single. Love Is for Suckers, the cover song, it's okay. I don't really like that sort of tough guy spiel that Dee does in the middle of the song. I think that kind of comes off a little silly, but otherwise it's a decent track. I don't really care for I'm So Hot For You. It's my least favorite song on here by far. But from there on out, Tonight I think is a really good anthemic type of a song. Me and the Boys is a really good one. One Bad Habit, a little cheesy, but it's a lot of fun. Same thing with I Want This Night to Last Forever. It's a little cheesy, but it's a really feel good track. I can't help but like it. I actually do kind of like the ballad You're All That I Need. In the grand scheme of Twisted Sister songs, no, it's not my favorite song in the world. It's not my favorite ballad in the world, but I think it's pretty good. I think had Twisted Sister not really fallen from grace the way that they had by this point, that stood a chance of being a pretty good hit for them. And then, yeah, right, the closer is pretty good as well. We got 4 bonus tracks on here. Feel Appeal and Statutory Date are okay. I love If That's What You Want. It's one of my. It would be my favorite song on the album if I include those bonus tracks. And I Will Win, I think, is another great one. So I really do like this one a lot. And I do slightly enjoy it over You Can't Stop Rock and Roll. But both albums are great. Coming in at number 2, we're going to go with the band's debut, Under the Blade. Originally released in 1982. This is the re-release of the 1985 re-release where they remastered it and added another track. This is the Spitfire one, so I don't remember what year these came out. I want to say like 99, I think is when these ones came out. But great album, probably Twisted Sister's heaviest. Great songs on here. My all-time favorite Twisted Sister song, Bad Boys of Rock and Roll. But you've got What You Don't Know Sure Can Hurt You, which is like the ultimate Twisted Sister concert opener. Sin After Sin, super heavy track. I love that one. Shoot 'Em Down, Under the Blade, Tear It Loose. Great stuff on here. Even the ones that are my lesser favorites are still really good. Run for Your Life, Destroyer, Day of the Rocker. Even I'll Never Grow Up Now it's kind of cheesy, but you know it is kind of fun too. I don't hate the song, but Under the Blade, solid album. Definitely would recommend this to anyone that is not familiar with it. But my favorite Twisted Sister album has to be Stay Hungry, released in 1984. This is the band's big album, has their 2 smash hits, We're Not Gonna Take It and I Wanna Rock. But this album to me is just perfection from start to finish. You got the title track, Stay Hungry, Burn It Hell's amazing, Horataria, The Price, Don't Let Me Down. Love that song, one of my favorite underrated Twisted Sister songs. The Beast, SMF. Just a perfect album for me from start to finish. There's not really much more I can say about this, but I love every second of Stay Hungry. So that one has to come in at the top. So if you like this kind of content, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And of course, let me know in the comments below how you would rank the Twisted Sister catalog. If you like this kind of content, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, all that good stuff, and I'll catch you in the next video.